As a player of this game, you spend a lot of time second guessing yourself, especially if, say, you're having a period of time where you're not playing particularly well. I'm experiencing that at the moment. Last 2 months, actually maybe 3 months, I've just not played well in game. And as well, things knocking your confidence with, say, that Ares fight and some endgame content and just the general gameplay kind of puts you in a very weird state with the game and your enjoyment. So is the moral of the story get good or quit the game? Maybe. I don't think that's like particularly a nice sentiment to have overall. But in a general sense of, well, what are Kabam doing? The AI hasn't been looked at in a long time. I was sent a message by White Mummy, I don't know if you're watching, who kind of gave me his breakdown, his take on stuff, which is fair. And I think we'll probably cover that on Monday's MCN, because I think it covers a lot of stuff that players are experiencing at the moment, because it's not just about, me experience, it's you experience as well. The reason we're making this kind of like update video is that whilst I was on my lunch break, I was looking around for if there's anything interesting, and this was interesting. This is an acknowledgement from Kabam on the Medium Intercept issue. This is from Kabam Dork. He said, we wanted to talk about the recent issues with medium intercepts, as many of you are still experiencing these types of issues despite our announcement to fix the patch note. With that, we did find something important and we identified a related additional issue we were hoping to include a fix for in the March up build, but complications delayed that fix to April's 50.0 build. Wow, that's a lot of build. So look forward to seeing those adjustments there. As an additional clarification, the fix is specifically for when players are using medium attacks to dash at each other and the defender wins despite proper timing and the attacker's side, which is not intended. The defender ruining your day with a light intercept is a different, harder to fix issue we have discussed another day. So this is one of the things that I've experienced a lot of, especially going into a Black Panther Civil War fight that recently buffed, and in something like the Ordeal, something that is a bit of a stonewall block and has taken a bit of my units at the moment and is making me feel like, and I don't know if any other people experience this, just feel like, wow, I'm crap, man. That's just like, I'm intercepting at it and going, this timing is like, the AI is so intuitive. Why? Why is it so intuitive? And is that fair? Is that unfair? Is it get good or you're seeing a bug? And the fact is, you're seeing a bug. And I didn't realize it until, say, the last 24 hours, or less than that actually, because this was posted at midnight UK time. And of course, I pre-record the MCN so I can go and do my day job. And then, of course, in the evenings, I'll kind of like see what it's about. And this is... it's a scary mission, and I'm glad that it's going to be dealt with, but it is a scary mission because we do have the light intercept still as a thing. That is a problem, and it's not good. It's really not. I want this game to do well. I've wanted it to do well over the years. I'm sure people will disagree that maybe I didn't, but I do. I do want it to do well. I love the community. Playing the game has been more difficult in the last 2 to 3 years, just by either device or it's by enjoyment or complexity or content, because I haven't felt that Kabam have put out a piece of content recently-ish that has really ticked my boxes. Ticking my boxes, The Crucible is a good example. Previous years to that, Cosmic Horror, fun, engaging, interesting content. And I'm sure people would say, well, the Grandmaster Gauntlet Ordeal is that particular content. And I'm sure people will say, well, Epoch of Pain, Eternity of Pain, and previous types of pieces of content have ticked boxes for people. But that's fine, but it hasn't ticked my box. And we need stuff in-game that is attuned to what we enjoy. Not easy for Kabam to do to keep everybody happy. And they piss off people more than you might think. But these are the fundamentals. The word fundamental is a word that I like using because in a fighting game, you want to fight. And the response to whatever is the AI needs to be good as well. Anyway, moving on. To dive into more specifics in this case, understanding medium intercepts first requires understanding how exactly a dash works. As you know, swiping to the right will either cause your character to perform a medium if they're close enough, or to dash forward and then perform a medium attack if they need to dash to close the distance first. Under the hood, this second process is actually one of 3 different animations working together. That is a problem in itself because it's the Kabam have their own complexities when engineering the game and looking after stuff under the hood. First, a character enters the dash animation moving forward, and then if that more dynamic animation is complete but there is still more distance to travel, they stabilize into a dash loop animation that carries them the rest of the way. And again, this stuff scares me because it's like if there's a 3-pronged process to something and you have to rely on trusting what is happening on screen based on your simple movement is that, right? Next, you have to rely on the game. And unfortunately, relying on the game, AI, animation, is not there. And that is scary, isn't it? It's scary because it costs you either units. It could cost people money. It could cost revives. It could cost this or that. Finally, when they come close enough to their opponent, this distance is standardized across all characters. They upgrade upgrade either their dash or dash loop into a medium 1 attack, which is what finally attacks the opponent. Therein lies the issue. If 2 characters are dashing at each other, they will enter that given distance at exactly the same moment and thus try to throw their mediums at the same time. Because MCOC was intended to only ever be played on the left side of the screen, the game is hard-coded to let attacker win these ties, resulting in an intercept in the player's favour. Although, nowadays, there's a lot of doubt with that, especially from just general performance. The AI's response time versus, say, what happens in that little moment right there on that dash, intercept even. The problem is that there were some peculiarities in the upgrade process that were hidden by 30 frames per second. We had to change the way things work on a fundamental level to prevent transitions between animations from delaying the player by a single 60 frames per second frame, which was enough to cause those lost intercepts that were supposed to be wins. The system has been in place essentially unchanged since the game's launch, so not only did there turn out to be 2 different things we had to fix, one of which was hiding the other, but they had to be tested rigorously and carefully to avoid other breaks, which is why we couldn't rush them out. As I said, this is a very scary thing because it is the fundamentals of the game. It's stuff that you don't see, and we've been here before where we've said to Kabam there's a problem, and it's either like they don't believe you or what you're experiencing, or say that it could be various numbers of things. Like, is it your device? Is it something like your connection? Is it like something else? But it's not. They're not looking at everything underneath the hood. And that's scary because the game is complex. It's complex from what you see and how you play, but it's complex behind the scenes when it comes to, again, building stuff and how things respond. And of course, there's a lot of future things that are coming. AI being the one thing. And I want to zoom into this last particular point because this is going to be some of the most important things that, for me, and I said, this year was about Kabam making sure the gameplay, the fundamentals of what is a fighting game, just to be as good. Well, no, as good. Just be good. That's it. Something to note is that there's nowhere in this process did we have to change the defender was actually decided to do. Everything was the mechanics of how the animation worked together, different frame rates, and the fixes ended up being on the player side rather than on the defender. Our goal is discussing this nuance is to increase transparency and pull back the curtain a little bit more how multiple systems work, or sometimes don't work together, particularly specific animations and the architecture they operate within, the frame rate of the game, and the AI. All of them with their own quirks. All of these are interacting to add up to the gameplay we all experience. However, this helps provide some insights of why some of these issues and interactions are easily or faster fixes than others. We're continually working on all of them, more on the AI side of things in a future post, but this web is complex and fixes are rarely simple. So it's good to note that we are going to see something about AI at some point. I think this has been and that's take away what you want from what Kabam have posted right here. Whether you like some of the stuff that Kabam have posted, whether you not. I mean, I appreciate Kabam and Kabam Dave responding and kind of like at least giving us a bit of a behind the curtains. I think this is good for transparency. I have been very worried over the last 12 months how we are not getting certain information, where Kabam are up to with certain fixes, why is it taking so long. But these have always been the stuff that I want to see improve about the game. It's the fighting. As a kid, I used to love going to the arcade. When I was on holiday, go to the arcade, play fighting games, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, whatever was there. Virtual Fighter, whatever. Honestly, whatever was there that was a fighting game, I'd love to just play. But over the years, it's like I love starting off playing the game because the fighting was like there was no complexity. As the game became more complex and as AI started interacting with nodes and they have abilities and there was other things that were playing out, there was stuff forever of this game's existence that I was like, what are Kabam doing? Like, where can we get back to that point of simplistic fighting, or not super complex fighting, but something that was you could trust what Kabam were doing, number one, and trust what the defender was doing. And yeah, I just want it to be good. So yeah, take it from this as a bit of transparency, and that's great. Does it mean that we've got everything fixed? No. When will it come? Don't know. We'll have to see what happens in April when we've got the fix for the medium intercepts, and hope there's a bit of fair elements to this that have been added in, and more on this AI side of things in the future. But anyway, that's been it for the video. What are your thoughts on this and the game in general? Thoughts in the comments. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.